conversation, you'll absolutely find it on YouTube at Y254 channel. My socials is at Brian Sakon1. Now, in this segment today, we are talking about matters career. Now, building a resilient career in 2025 will have you to literally adapt amicably to the fast-paced world of technology now infused with artificial intelligence. The youth have to be fully equipped with soft skills and hard skills. You can call them non-transferable and transferable skills to stay afloat, as some careers are now mildly fading off. What exactly does it take to build a resilient career that will competitively make you stay afloat in our, let's say, still competitive workspace or work environment? And that's what you're delving into. And I'm going to be engaging Brian Oyunge. He's a student recruit. He works at student recruitment agency SRA. He'll tell us more about it alongside Lauryn Kimanthi. She's a student counselor. I was to introduce Lauryn first before I went to Brian, but yeah, Brian came first. Good morning to you guys. Yeah, great to meet you.
Good morning. Same here.
Right. So let's start off maybe. Perhaps maybe you can just share just a little bit of what you do, and then we can delve into the serious part of the conversation professionally. Yeah.
So my name is Lauryn Kimanthi. I'm a student counselor at Multiworld International alongside TCL Global. So we help students who are interested in pursuing education abroad, from career counseling to getting university placement. So how relevant this, how I'm relevant today in terms of career is that, as I said, we help in career counseling. Now, for a first student who would like to know the course that they want to do and the future prospects that they have.
Yeah.
Yes.
Wow. Okay. What about you, Brian?
Yes, my name is Brian Oyunge. I work at Industry Qualifications, which is a student recruitment agency.
Okay.
What we do is we partner with the foreign universities so that we can recruit students to go study the programs they offer.
Yeah.
We've currently partnered with two universities.
Yeah.
We've got Eastbot University from Uganda and Northern Arizona University from the United States.
Right.
So our main focus at the moment is students who are proceeding from diploma programs and would like to go into degrees to advance their careers.
Yeah.
Or they would like to know what more is there after the diploma program.
Yeah.
What more? What next?
Right.
So that's our main focus
Okay.
at the moment. Yeah.
Okay. Now let's get to what exactly does it take to build a resilient career, a striking career in 2025? Because just like I've said, it's a fast-paced world of adaptations, innovations, and the technology landscape is literally redefining and reshaping careers. And a career will lead you either in the workspace or into a business or some form of trade. Yeah. Lauryn, what do you think it takes to build a successful career in 2025?
Okay, so as we both, or all of us know, AI is taking a lead in everything. So as much as a student is deciding, this is the career that I'm going to start, this is the career that I want to proceed with. Career, what is a career? Career is not a job. It's not just a job that you're doing today. It's something that you're going to start with from now till the end of time. Yes, it's a long-term decision. So you have to choose a career that you're comfortable with. And then you look at the market trends. That's the AI. For example, someone who was doing digital marketing maybe 5 years ago, the main focus was in terms of branding and just paperwork or a little bit of social media. But now what is happening, there's Canva, there's the graphic designing. You can see ChatGPT is doing like a real life imitation of a person. So as much as you're doing, as much as you're selecting the course that you want to do, the career path that you're choosing, you should focus on the market trends. That's the AI. How can you incorporate AI to your career? Not just trying to fight off the AI, trying to work with it.
Yeah, because there's a little bit of a pushback, and I think pushbacks are good, especially if it's for the good. Pushbacks are good for the good, because you have to either adapt to it or do something, because either way you'll still find a way of just meeting it. But what do you believe are the right things that somebody can do to create a striking career in 2025, Brian?
Once someone has decided on what they want to do, I think it's they need to stay informed because the job market is constantly changing. What we're doing today is not what we'll be doing 2 years from now. Take for example, I could use
let's say like a front office job, somebody who is working at the reception. You know,
yes,
initially
yes.
you just ordinarily welcome someone, but nowadays the systems to actually do that, from the check-ins to the checkouts. Yeah, go
Yeah,
ahead.
if you go back 10 years, we used to have typewriters, and officers would employ 2-3 secretaries to do that job. Then computers came along, and they helped easen up the processes, and then one person could do the job of 3 people.
Yeah.
And now we've got AI coming in, which means whereas a manager of a company, say there's a board of directors, 3 boards of directors, each has a secretary. With AI, that means one person can do the job of those 3 people. Because it helps break down the processes and make work easy.
Yeah, but then still on your point, I think it's a valid point. You said one person can do a job of 3 people or even more. Don't you also believe maybe there's erasure of some certain, because I also mentioned there's some careers that are literally fading off, but mildly, not instantly, like, you know, you realize, I'd say, I think there's an article I was reading, it was saying clerical jobs will not be there anymore because robots are doing it now in a world of automation as well. You can see there's some careers, kidogo kidogo, they're being slashed out or aged out slowly by slowly. Don't you believe as time goes by, there'll be less people in the workspace and more of automations, AI, and robotics here?
Yeah, you can take, for example, at the moment, we are doing online shopping, which is also affecting the retail industry.
Yeah.
But it brought a boom in the delivery market. We have people who are, their jobs are doing deliveries.
Yeah.
But if you look at developments around the world, companies are working on creating automated machines that can do deliveries.
Yeah.
We can look at Amazon. They are working on robots which can do deliveries, which will then mean that the people who are currently working in the delivery sector, in 2-3 years, 5, in the near future, they'll be out of jobs. So they'll need to adapt.
Yeah, so there's the issue of adaptation, and I think I love it. Let me throw it back to you, Lauryn. From the interactions you've had and what you do, there's an article I was reading as well before I forget it. It was talking about, I think it was from Federation of Kenya Employers, that was saying even the young people that are graduating and getting into the job market or the labor market, there's need for upskilling. What you learned in university apparently is not what is applied in the workspace. So you need to be trained more from what you know to what you can do and add on extra. And that goes from soft skills to technical skills. Maybe what have you noticed is lacking in the youth, in the Gen Zs, from the interactions you had?
Okay, so it's going to bring me to like one factor about personality. As a student, let's say a fresh high school student who's supposed to start his career path or her career path. Now this person might have no idea of which direction they should go. So the personality aspect, you have to understand yourself first, understand which work routine would work with you, which career you want to pursue, and then you start early. Start early is that you start doing research as your own as a student now. Maybe you're in your first year. You want to finish and you should have experience, because that is what is happening with most companies. They want to employ people who have experience. But you're in first year, where you're going to get experience. You start by volunteering. You start by networking. I believe most campuses nowadays are doing expos in their school, conferences. Everything is online. Yes, competition. You're a first year. It does not mean that you have to get to the fourth year to start networking.
Or
start,
to get a job.
Or to get a job, yes.
In first year.
So like, for example, I do have an example of a friend who was doing culinary arts. And she was looking for jobs everywhere, and she's not getting jobs. And so I was like, you don't need to have a job or like to get an employment. You can start networking on your own. There are churches around home. Start by cooking there. And then the mamas will come and say, hey, Daisy made a very nice meal. When she has a Rora show, she'll call you to cook for her. That is how you start networking. You have to be proactive. Times are changing because you'll find a 60-year-old is in the same position at work from when they were 40. So you'll have to sit and wait for him or her to retire so that you can get a job opportunity, create job opportunities for yourself.
Yeah, and that will hold your dreams for real, for real. Yeah.
Exactly.
And now with technology. But then also when you look at the youth themselves, are they even ready to upskill? Because the percentage I think the Federation of Kenya Employers was giving is really massive, 67%. Most of them are reluctant, and that includes a population, even dropouts, who are still, you know, trying to go for the same position. You've just said there's a 59-year-old, 55 in the same position. So what are the strategies maybe they can employ to ensure that their careers are afloat? Because it's really competitive out here.
Yeah.
And now with technology. Yeah.
Yes. So back to my point about being proactive. So then, and the networking. Like looking for your own.
Networking is a skill.
Yeah, it's a skill. Yeah. I know it's hard. Yeah. It's not like a fast, like you say, like you that's watching me, and then they're like, Lauryn said, let's start networking. And then tomorrow they wake up and start networking. You remember when you were in high school and then they used to bring these mentors, and then you write 10 points that you'll start doing to get your A in KCSE. The first day you're at 2 points. The fourth day you've completely forgotten. Coming back to yourself as a person, what do you want? How do you start? And then I can say that's where, like, us as a Multiworld and TCL, we can come in. You don't know what to do as a student, or you've already started, but you don't know how to continue. You get professional guidance. You come to us, you say, I wanted to go this way, but it seems the way I'm going, it's not the right way. You come, we give you the career guidance on how to proceed. For example, going back to tech, someone who's considering doing mechanical engineering, in a couple of years, that is not what it's going to be it's not going to be working. So for someone who wants to do mechanical engineering, you should add mechatronics on top of it. We are doing smart
robotics now.
Yes, you add the robotic aspect to your mechanical engineering. That is how you grow.
You upskill, actually. Upskilling. Interesting point. But then, Brian, as well, the same Gen Zs, now that everyone is a Gen Z from last year, we can say from Gen Zs, yeah? The same Gen Z, some of them are finding it even hard to get out of their shells. I think I was trying to point out to you about a recent research that said most of them are quitting. They don't want to stay in the workspace after they've checked in. They'll be like, 1, 2, 3, nope, I don't want. But then we are still struggling with things, matters and employment, you know. This thing saying hakuna kazi, you know, but here Lauryn is saying you need to add on an extra skill from what you know. So what can these Gen Zs do? And also, before I forget, there's a question I had asked her. What is that one thing you've noticed that's lacking in the youth in terms of them trying to upskill and create a career for themselves here? From your interactions actually and what you do.
Yeah, I think for the current youth, I'd say they're more of when they walk into a workspace, they already know what they want or what it is they sort of expect. So when they walk in on the first day and they find the expectations are not met, that's when you find that they don't come back. Because they walk in, they find that it's an office where communication is a bit tough, or there's no one to guide you on what you're supposed to do, how it's supposed to be done. So they'll go back in the evening and decide, you know, I don't think that this workplace is for me. And yeah, I think that's why the challenge with the young Gen Z quitting jobs.
Okay.
Yeah.
Or to add to that, you find that most of the employers, when they're employing you, they expect you have already had the experience.
Yeah.
Now, this is me. This is my first day. I do not know how a photocopy machine is working, and then there's no one. Yes, no one is there to tell me, Lauryn, you have to tap this and this and this for it to work.
Yeah.
They're there. They know that I know, but I don't know, and I'm scared if I tell them that I don't know, I might get fired. You know.
Yeah, sure.
So you find the first day is hard, the second day is hard, and then the third day I'm like, let me just get another one.
Yeah, or
Yes.
just exit and never come back.
Yes.
But then, Brian, maybe what do Gen Zs need to do to upskill their, let's say, in terms of ensuring that they update themselves with what's going on? Because she's mentioned of networking, get another skill that, you know, from the experiences you've had and you've noticed with your people you work with, what do you think are the possible strategies that they can do to ensure that mambo yao ikuwe sawa, for lack of a better word, in terms of career growth?
I think something they can do, and it's something which won't be hard for the young generation, is to stay informed. You have to look at the career you are in. What are the trends? Where is the market headed? What are people doing?
Career trends.
And I believe this is something that won't be hard for them to do. They're constantly online, so they're aware of the trends. They can see what's happening.
Yeah.
And also, if you look at the generation that's interested in learning new skills, here in Kenya we had a period where people were interested in web development.
Yeah.
You talk to someone who is not employed and they tell you, if you need a website, talk to me, I'll build it for you. It's not that they went to college or to school to study web development. They went online, went through a few YouTube tutorials, and learned a new skill. So I think staying informed, learning new skills, that's something that won't be hard for the younger generation.
Yeah. Before we delve into the technology part, and then I'll also get to you, Lauryn, maybe if you were to, from an observatory perspective, what would you tell a person who would ask you this question? What exactly does it look like to have a successful career? An example of somebody who's worked for, like, let's say, 10 plus years, that's a decade. 5 years into it, that's already half of it, you know. So meaning you have experience, you have exposure, you've become literally an expert at it. If you were to give a response, what would you say? Somebody who's had 10 plus years of experience, what are the ingredients that possibly went into that? Because those are a lot of years.
Yeah, 10 years, that's a lot of discipline to work, especially if you've worked in one career for that period of time. That is something that takes discipline.
Yeah.
It
Do you
means
think Gen Zs are disciplined or stubborn?
They can be disciplined when they want to be, because if you look at what happened last year, you know, they didn't go to the street to cause chaos. It's because they looked at what's going on and they realized it's chaotic.
Yeah.
And we've got to tell these people that you're not going in the right direction. Yeah, so in terms of discipline, yeah, they can be disciplined.
Yeah.
And for someone who has worked in a career for a period of 10 years, that's someone who's willing to put in the work. Say you've been employed in a job that requires that you be at the office by 9. Yeah, you can't walk in at 10, 11 and expect that they'll have you. Yeah, you'll come in one morning and they say, sorry, we'll have to find someone else for this position.
Yeah, is timekeeping a skill? I believe it's a skill.
Yeah, it is.
Nowadays,
It is. Keeping time is essential.
And also looking the parts, and it's an issue with discipline, right? Yeah, continue, Brian. That was just by the way.
Yeah, and also the other thing you'll need to work on so that you can have a long-lasting career is how you interact with your co-workers, your superiors, and also those who work below you.
Yeah, there's a relationship between you and your co-workers. Yeah.
You will have to, you've got to respect everyone. You can't treat your boss with the respect, then go to your junior and throw insults at them.
Yeah.
Yeah, because that it will be, for someone who comes into work that company, they'll find that culture to be a bit odd.
Yeah.
That the elders can be respected, while someone like me who's new,
yeah,
there's no regard to my feelings or what I do. So yeah, I think for someone who has worked in a career for 10 plus years, those are some of the factors that contribute to the longevity of such a career.
Yeah. What do you think of the same, Lauryn? Somebody who's had a 10 plus year career experience, they become a pro at whatever they were doing, even if it's in the field of medicine, education, tech, science, fintech, finance, whatnot. Yeah, 10 plus years is a lot. It means you're a guru at that. Yeah. If you were to diagnose probably the things that this person might have done to stay in that field for those years, what would you imagine?
Well, I think they've learned the aspect of embracing their failures. You know, human is to error, so like trying to turn the failure into a success or a lesson, and also being driven. You have to be driven, and setting your clear goals about what you want. Maybe the first 2 years you want to be a junior, maybe the other 3 years you want to be a senior, maybe at the 4th year you want, like you've set your own targets on how, like, stepping stone for every level. And also be hardworking, of course. You have to work hard and work smart. Yes, and also the time. And as Brian said, about how you interact with your co-workers and also your clients.
Yeah, because it's also business as well.
Yes, it's also business.
It matters business,
Yes, how you interact with the people you're working with and the people that you're offering your services to.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, but that means that, you know, people in the workspace should have relationship with each other, yeah? Yeah. I was actually reading that in the book. I think it's called The Leader Who Had No Title by Robin Sharma. She says most successful people in the employment space have relationships with each other that do not exactly necessarily extend outside work, but it's work relationships for the dream and the vision of successfully implementing tasks at work, Yeah,
I guess it's the aspect of you being comfortable with each other.
You
see the way you and Stephanie are interacting, you're very open to each other, you're comfortable. So if you're not friends or you're not easy with each other, it creates like some kind of a tension at work or something like that.
It's actually an odd demeanor.
It's like you wake up in the morning and then you're like, I'm going to work with Brian. Oh my God, when will 5 arrive, you know? But if you're comfortable, time flies. It's like, oh, it's 8, you were supposed to leave at 5, you know. Something like that.
Yeah, actually, you wanted to jump in, Brian?
Yeah, I wanted to say that in terms of how you relate with your co-workers, it also helps in the activities you're doing at the office. If you can't communicate with the person next to you, you'll encounter a challenge, and then you'll stay stuck. The office stays stuck. You can't seek assistance, and if you do, maybe this other person can't help you. So it's you need
to have relationships in the workspace, work relationships. I was actually, there's a meme I actually pointed out to Steph, I think it was a couple of weeks ago, that was saying corporate buddies are really psychopathic. Like they'd rather step on you and get whatever they want to get and don't care about, you know, whatever you got through. Bora milifike kwenye naenda. And I find it to be a really toxic thing in the workspaces. And that means as well there's some aspects of, you know, somebody who wants to build an excellent career, you have to compromise on some certain things, but in an open way to favor, you know, both sides of the equation. But anyway, speaking of favor, I believe with technology, especially now if you infuse the likes of AI and whatnot, there's a little bit of disruption. And that means there's some careers that I'd say, are mildly fading off. So what happens to the people that, you know, had done things like clerical work, nini nini? What will happen to them? Yeah, do they have to switch to something else? Or like you had said, okay, you're an engineer, now can you learn something about creating content? Yeah. What do you believe? Yes, upskilling, exactly.
So I believe you just have to be creative at this point. And then you see, I used to wait for people to make an appointment. But nowadays, they just go online and make their own appointment. So what can I do on top of the skills that I have now as a clerk? Upskilling.
Yeah.
Maybe networking, maybe merging with maybe someone from the IT department, and you guys try and merge the services together.
Yeah.
Yeah, you see from like someone in business, they have a shop, but now we have Jumia, we have Kilimall. What can they do? They can try and work with these apps so that they bring business to themselves, you know? Yeah, so I believe it's just looking for ways on how to incorporate working with the AI. That's what I was saying. Instead of fighting it off, look for how you work together with it.
Infuse it.
Yes.
There's actually an update, I was trying to find it, about declining careers. Yes, here it is. It's actually from the World Economic Forum. It says the 15 fastest declining jobs in percentage by 2030. They're saying this is according to the World Economic Forum's future of jobs. So there's around 15, but the most outstanding one I think is postal service clerks. I don't know if mnakumbuka kazi za posta. They're saying they're going to literally die. Bank tellers and related clerks. So you'll not go to the bank and, you know, the teller number, you go there. It will be self-service, automation, or a robot. Data entry clerks, for real, cashiers and ticket clerks, administrative assistants, accounting, bookkeeping, and payroll. Yeah, there's massive numbers of such people in government parastatals, I believe. Accounting, bookkeeping, and payroll clerks. Door-to-door sales workers. How will door-to-door sales workers, you know, disappear? Because look at delivery services. Does it mean a robot will come your way?
To your door.
That's scary. And then legal secretaries and telemarketers. Graphic designers, I don't agree. I think it's subject to review.
Yeah, actually, for graphic designers, it's really, really happening.
Yeah.
Like there's an app I was trying to use. You just tell it, I want an ad with 3 people. Yeah. And then there's a desk with a logo, Multiworld International, and they are happy and they're drinking tea. And they gave me exactly that.
The exact photo.
Yes.
So, or make a watermark,
No, and it doesn't have a water. It's just that I've forgotten the name of the AI.
It could be either the Geminis or still related to ChatGPT or DeepMind.
Yeah, something like that.
One of the LLMs. Yeah.
Yes. So it means now the people who are designing these things, they have to come up with something to incorporate the AI system. And then you see some things like the
postal service clerks,
Yeah.
And bank tellers.
Yes, the mobile app. Now you can do transactions with your own mobile app. So why would you need to go to the bank? And everyone is scared of going to line up at the bank anyway. So So I think for people like that, you have to find a way of upskilling now. Maybe you are a graphic designer. Maybe now upskill to making an AI of your own. You know?
Yeah, recently there was Simba AI. I don't know if you guys heard of it, near Kenya. So there's a group of Kenyan, I believe, web developers that came, or IT enthusiasts who Majaribu could create the Kenyan AI system to see if it's going to take over as well. And I think that's impressive because rarely do you hear it's just about ChatGPT, OpenAI, DeepSeek, and the rest is your overseas countries here. But then also, Brav, I think in that same breath, it requires that, you know, the people that are used to this, let's say, normal traditional jobs, it means that they have to be introduced to some of these facilities. And when you look at what we have in the country, some of them are not available, others cannot afford it. So how do you, and I remember Lauryn mentioned she's managed to actually take people to the UK. So you can imagine now having people that have not experienced such a structure that's already there. So how do you even help such people to further their careers?
I think for a start, they can begin with what they have access to. Because something like AI, over here in Kenya, what we can access is the online models. We don't have access to the computing power you'll need to develop your own AI LLM.
But we already have one. Simba AI, yeah.
For a regular person,
Yeah.
you know, most people do not have that computing power. The laptops and computers we purchase are, at best, you can install the Adobe software. We've got 3D modeling software. You install that, it becomes very limited.
It's more of downloading, installing, and use other than developing from scratch.
Yeah. And AI, to develop an LLM, train your own model, that requires very large computing power. And also, you'll need constant electricity, whereas here in Kenya, Kenya Power can decide the whole night, electricity goes off countrywide. So if you are training an LLM, that means that process gets interrupted and you may have to start again.
Yeah.
So what I would say is we can start small with what we have access to. We have access to the online LLMs. We can look into what they are doing, stay informed with the Chinese and the Americans, what they are trying to do, so that when we finally get there, we are informed. We know that we are not starting from zero. You know what others have done, what worked, what did not. So at least you've got an edge. You're not falling that far off behind. Yeah.
But then, Pia, in the fast-paced world of AI and the rest of the technologies, I believe there's people who are outstanding and extremely competitive. So for, let's say, just a typical Gen Z mwenye ako kibra na anataka kujitosa katika ulingo wa kujenga career ambayo tuseme itamfanya kutu on top. Even when you look at content creation, most of the visible content creators, there's something unique about their content that's totally striking and different from other content creators, meaning that they've infused something, there's a new editing style, there's drama, or there's a new app, or there's somebody, there's just something going on with them. So for a typical Zebra, they've just gotten into a profession. How do they become competitive and, beat others of their game?
I think that's where networking comes in, because you'll need to interact with people who are already in the field, so they can hold your hand and guide you through it. As you're starting off, they can tell you, you can head into this direction. This is the direction you'll end up getting stuck. So if someone networks, it will give them some kind of advantage and help them out as they figure out on what to do with their career.
Yeah. And Lauryn, you had mentioned that you had touched a bit on that. But then I'm also looking at the part where, to say, mentorship. Somebody was saying a mentor chooses you, you don't choose them. So meaning that you don't tell them, hey, I'd like you to be my mentor. They actually say, hey, I want to mentor you. Yeah. But then when you look at the Gen Zs at large, is there like a specific, let's say, number of that population that are not interested in consulting anyone who's an expert? There was a video I was watching yesterday on TikTok, and this guy was saying, I don't care if you're a president, someone said, I don't care if, those captions are, I think it's, life is so private that you didn't know I was somebody here. So there's somebody, I think, who had shared that they are related to someone extremely influential, and this guy was reacting, we don't care. There were Gen Zs, actually, a group of them. I downloaded the clip here. So when you look at that, it means that there's a certain demographic of the youth who are resistant to these things. They don't want mentorship, how Turkey stories a career. They just want to do it their own way. So how do you infuse such a demographic into still a profession and have them move forward?
Okay, so that's quite tricky, because now it means if they don't want to follow someone's footsteps, they already have an idea of what they want to do. Okay, bringing back to the point, personality. How does
Yeah.
this person work? You know, so if this person knows, if I decide to follow Lauryn's footsteps, it's not that is not what it is for me.
Yeah.
But they know if they start and then they get to a certain level, they need someone to boost them up. You know, you can even start as maybe I want to be a journalist. And then I start by having you as my mentor. Then when I get to your level, I discover I want to have another mentor to like
Yeah.
step by
step,
to up
literally
upskill.
upskilling. Yeah.
Yes. So so if this
Sorry.
person, yeah, so excuse me. So if this person has known, I don't want to follow anyone. I just want to do my own thing.
Yeah.
And then they do their own thing. Then it doesn't work. Now they have to come back to the table and
Yeah.
start afresh. So, but if they do their own thing, it works out.
Yeah.
Well, it's good for them. Yeah. So it's just understanding your
Yeah. The kind of
schematics, I
yeah.
think.
Yeah. Yeah. Schematics.
Yes.
Also semantics. Yeah. All
I'll
those things
also
slide
add,
in as well. Yeah.
regarding the mentorship, the cause for someone to say, I don't want a mentor, maybe they've tried it and they find that there's a gap between how they expect to be advised and how the mentor they got or they chose offers advice. You'll find that the older generation, if they tell you this is how you do something, they expect that you'll do it as they say.
Yeah.
Don't object, don't make suggestions, don't change it,
Do as
do
I
it
say.
as it said. Yeah, so
And Gen Zs have a problem with that actually.
yeah,
They be like, hataki kuambiwa. Because there was one who was saying, hataki kusimamishwa kila saa, akuwe reminded. Sasa hii click hapa, slide. You know, they be like, niache, nifanye vile najua, and then I'll go home. But you realize this is somebody's job. This is also a business. They have to meet their vision. So you have to do it their way. So, you know, there's a little bit of a complication in there. Yeah.
yeah. I think the job market will also have to adapt to accommodate the Gen Zs. Because if your way of instructing is not working with the incoming job market, you'll have to change. Otherwise, you'll run out of employees.
Yeah.
Or you'll have an employee coming in for 2 days.
Yeah.
The third day they are not in, you have to hire someone else,
Yeah.
which will become a cycle.
Mm.
Yeah.
But then is there an easy way in to any profession? Because there's a common Gen Z watatajwa hadi dunia ishi. There's a common saying that they say they want the process to trust them, not them to trust the process. So is there an easy way up the ladder in any profession, in that you came in January, by December you are the award-winning Mr. what do they call it? President Kingston, all those good titles Gen Zs use, the conqueror, the emperor, the lion, the champion. You're now being recognized as the very best. Is there an easy way out to the top? Yeah.
I think if such easy careers will exist, the Gen Zs will have to come up with them. Because in any career, you are going in, there are people who are already there. So if you go in expecting to be the best within a short period, that will be quite challenging.
Yeah.
You'll have to be someone who's very good at what you're doing.
Yeah. Lauryn, do you think there's an easy way out of any profession in terms of getting to the top? Yeah.
Well, I don't think so, really. Because I'll go back to, there's a point you guys were touching about the management and the Gen Zs hawataki kuambiwa na hawani nimesema. So I think it's a two-way road.
Yeah.
As much as Gen Z hataki kuambiwa, they have to understand this is someone's business. And also they are working on their own career as the Gen Z sasa. See, you're doing this work so that you have a career.
Yeah, you're so actually upskilling in short and becoming a professional.
So you have to understand that you have to like know what you went there to do.
Yeah.
And then also for the organization, the bosses, they do have to understand this is a new era.
Yeah.
These are new
Yeah.
people. These are not the people kitambo walikuwa
Millennials
wanasema,
and boomers.
yes, so
Yeah.
so the both points, I think
Yeah.
they make sense.
They're valid, yeah.
Yes, and then about an easy way out. Okay, kuna watu wanakuanga na bahati, you never know, anafika anachapa
Even
job
with connections, you've seen
yes.
people get to places, you'll be like, it took me 10 years to get there. This guy, it has taken him 6 months.
Six months and they're
Yeah.
there. So who knows? It's okay, comme ci, comme ça, something
Yeah.
like that. But sidhani it is like it.
Yeah.
It is
Within a
pap.
click of a button.
Yes.
Yeah. At least there's a process, yeah?
Yeah.
There's always a process.
There's always a process.
Yeah, so we have to exit because we ran out of time. We can't add another word. So, any social media platform, especially LinkedIn, if you're on, where Gen Zs can visit and say hi very fast.
Okay, so my LinkedIn account is Lauryn Kimanthi, and also we have our company website, Multiworld International. So for any services, in case you want to study abroad, in case of inquiries or scholarship options, we do have scholarship options sometimes.
Yeah.
So www.multiworldinternational.com. All inquiries are welcomed.
Okay, absolutely. Brian?
Yeah, for me, people can reach out at our website, www.iq-sra.com.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So, and I appreciate you both for this conversation. It has been short, but I believe there's been a very lot of highlights for people to learn. And thank you to Lauryn and Brian for coming through. Yeah.
Yeah,
Thank you for this
having us.
opportunity.
Karibu sana. And thank you to you too for watching us from 7 a.m. to 10 a.m. We'll see you tomorrow, Brighton Ali, I, and my co-host Stephanie Ayeta at Y254 channel at Brand Sakono, and see you tomorrow.